Hi everyone, Ash Nightingale here from Nightingale Guitars, and today I've got a video for you on a couple of homemade jigs that I've recently made. One for the Dremel and one is a pin router jig for a 1/4 inch router. So the purpose of the jigs is to assist in making this tailpiece, and specifically to make the notches which the string will sit into there. As you can see, I've done one to make sure that the jigs work, and as an example, and that's basically how it's going to work. It's going to sit in that notch like that, and then there's one on the other side as well for the ball end of the string to just sit into, so it's basically flush and it's not going to scratch on the body of the guitar or anything like that. So I'll get straight to it and I will show you the jigs that I've been making. Okay, so this is my pin router jig that I've made. It was originally made for doing archtop F-holes. I found it's come in useful for quite a few things since then. It's got an 1/8 of an inch pin here, which is 3.175 I think, and I've got a groove in the bottom of this jig which is done on my table saw blade, which is 3.2 mil, so that's basically a perfect fit with 0.025 of a millimetre tolerance, so there's basically no movement on that. And the cool thing about this jig is that you can sort of work in any direction really, because the pin is indexed with the router bit. You could work in that direction. For me, I'm using this block at the back as a stop, so I'm routing from here and using that as a stop there. I've also drilled holes down here, accurately drilled spaced holes, and I've got this little pin so that the depth of my router is already set, and all I have to do is drop this arm down onto the pin, and then my depth is set again, so it allows me to repeat the depth that I was using before, which is handy. And then all I've got here is 3 insert nuts in this bit of plywood, and just another bit of plywood to hold the tailpiece in place, and then that just screws down and holds it all there in place when I start to perform the routing operation. The other thing to mention is that underneath here, if I take this off, I've got a centre line accurately drawn on there, and I've got a centre line on my tailpiece on both sides, scribed all the way around. And all I have to do is make sure, it doesn't so much matter where this is, obviously I've got to line it up with the hole, but the centre line has to be dead parallel to the other centre line that I've got on here. So that's really the main things to mention. The most time consuming thing about this is just getting it in the right place and getting that all set up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and show you the actual routing operation. Okay, so I'm all set and good to go. I've got the router actually down where it needs to be, and I'm looking for 8 mil of travel. So I've used these plastic packers just to pack out the back here to give me that 8 mil that I'm looking for. And then this bit of wood at the front here is just clamped on, and that is a safety measure to stop the jig moving this way, because if it moves this way it's routing into somewhere I don't want it to be routing. So that's all set, it's all good to go. I've got this screw at the back here tightened up nice and tight, so there's no movement in this, and so I'm ready to plug in and go. Okay, so this is the next jig that I was talking about. It's just 2 bits of profiled aluminium that I had left over from a machine. I didn't need these, they were spare, and there's a centre line down the middle here, and basically the Dremel just sits on and slides backwards and forwards on that. So I've got this strip of plywood along the top here 2 thumb screws that will push that bit of plywood down, and what that effectively does is pinches the front edge of that tailpiece there in place. And then what I would do after that is put it on the bench like that and just get a clamp on the other end, so that's all held. That clamp actually holds the jig down as well as holding the tailpiece into it. And again, you can see I've got my centre line on there, and I've also got my centre line on there, and they don't need to line up, but they do need to be dead parallel, so that all of my little notches run in exactly the same direction. So I'm going to go ahead again and set this up, and then come back and do the routing operation for you guys. Okay, so I'm all set and good to go. It's all firmly held in here now. These are tightened down nice and tight. I've got this little 8mm packer which I'm putting in here, and then I can butt the Dremel router base up to that. And what I want is for the router bit to be dead centre in the hole with the 8mm packer in place, and then I can remove the 8mm packer, and that gives me my 8mm travel. So what I'm going to do, I've only got 2mm router bit in here, so I'm going to have to do several small passes, but it's ready to go. So as you can see, that is the result. So all I have to do now is crack on and do the rest of these. Okay, so I've just finished routing. There's the finished article. It's the front of it and the back. So it's worked out quite nice and neat and tidy, so I would say the jigs have been a success, and I'm probably going to use the same pin router jig to do the grooves in the back of here, which will take the tail gut. If any of you have any other way you would have approached this and a different way you might have done it, leave a comment below, because I'll be very interested to hear how other people might have gone about this process. And whilst I've got the opportunity, I'll just do a quick follow-up video. If any of you have watched timber preparation for a laminated neck, which was the last video that I did, this is the neck, almost finished. I'm halfway through finishing this guitar. I'm just French polishing it at the moment, and you can see it's turned out quite nice. Especially the purple heart has come out really nice. You can really see the colour in that, and the figure in the curly maple as well. So all in all, quite pleased. I hope that this video has been informative, and I hope that you've enjoyed it, and maybe it's given you some ideas to take away. If you did like the video, please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel, and other than that, I'll see you all soon.